All right, we are near the end of life insurance and health insurance. I have completed the comprehensive final review, but not the total final exam. I've got my second screen up here, so if you see me glancing on this side, that's what I'm doing over here. So checking my timing on things. I started on all of this about a week and a half ago. I started on a Wednesday, and now it is a week later, and it is Sunday today. All total, I have put in about 23 hours. Let me check here. I've put in 27 and a half hours. So that gives me 12 and a half hours of I need to figure out what content I need to study extra. So me being a teacher, I guess, I understand how to lay through this stuff well. Again, I've got 10 years of experience already in the professional world. I have insurances of various types and means, and I guess I'm relatively well versed in the material here. So I was able to get through this stuff pretty straightforward stuff. The only thing that I kind of skimmed through was the North Carolina specific laws and rules. So your state specific laws and rules, that's going to be very nitty gritty, very detail oriented stuff. Things that are important to note in there are going to be 30 days versus 31 days versus 60 days. So very specific windows for different states and whatnot. The quality of the review, I believe the way they did it is they just took all of the questions from all of the options here and they just put it all into one giant bank. And the comprehensive instructional review is pulling 150 questions from that bank. My issue is a lot of those questions have errors and problems in either the lingo of the question or the answers provided, or some are so very obvious because the answers are just ridiculous except for a single one. So I am grumbling a little bit about the quality of the instructional review. I did send up a complaint to the support team because honestly, if I'm paying over $100 for this material, and if you're paying over $100 of this material, I don't want to read it as if a college freshman wrote it. Like, this is state licensure prep material, and I should feel like this is high quality stuff. Another thing that I noticed was that in one of the very first units, the summary video did not match the content that was provided in the reading material. And if it's a summary, then I believe the two should be connected. If you're going to supplement the reading material with new information, that's fine. But one, I wasn't expecting it. And then two, when I went to the next video or the next chapter, I was expecting new information, but that one was an actual summary video. So I'm just very confused over the direction that this group wants to go. Maybe this thing hasn't been updated in a while. I don't know when the last time this thing was looked at. So I'm a little disappointed in XCEL Solutions, not going to lie. Just over the quality of the material. The information presented itself, I get it. Straightforward, got it down. I've got it in the head. I've got a whole binder of notes here. You guys were saying don't take notes, but honestly, with 13 hours left to go, I have filled like 30 pages of notes while I'm doing this. So take your time, get the content written, and don't worry about speeding through it. Like, get the knowledge up here. Do not memorize the questions because that is not going to serve you. It's the same with any kind of course topic, right? You need to learn the content. You don't need to learn the test. You need to understand the information, the reasons behind it, all of the different categories and the variables. That's the important stuff, because when you go to take the actual exam, you need to know the information rather than you need to know the answer to the specific question, right? So I am going to be spending some more time reading rather than going over the questions over and over and over. I think there is more value in actually understanding the content of the information presented rather than just going through the questions over and over, especially if those questions are not a high quality or if you're having trouble understanding the why. And in the little answer box, like if you get a question wrong, it'll say the correct answer is this. And then it has a little summary, except that that little summary just says the question with the correct answer at the end of it. It doesn't explain in detail why. So do some more investigative work. Go back into the notes, find the chapter that it's related to, and figure out what specific detail was missed. You can do a quick Google on things if you want. Some examples that I definitely missed my first time through on the exam. I confuse sometimes the difference between adjustable life and variable life. So adjustable versus variable. With disability income, I missed a couple of things. The period of elimination is also known as your time deductible, and it happens the moment after your claim, before you receive information or your money, the actual claims here. There's a period of time where you're not receiving anything. And that is like you're paying the deductible, but it's with your time on that allotted wayment. There is no taxes involved. So that's how that's how they're getting their fee, I suppose. Let's see here. Other things. Rate increases need a 30-day notice. Something I did not realize, you can take IRA withdrawals tax-free at 59 and a half. I'm still planning retirement. I'm like 30 years away from that, but that's good to know. 59 and a half for IRA withdrawals being tax-free. If your annuity contract is canceled, you will receive the amount that you have paid up, except for any fees that have been used by the insurance company for expenses or for growing their own company. They're growing their interest rate. So you receive the contract surrender value. That's a very specific amount. Especially if you have not paid the full amount, you're going to get a piece of it rather than the whole thing, rather than all of your premiums paid up. 80% vested. This was something that I did not understand completely because I am already 100% vested in my work. I had to put in 4 years and I put in 10. So 4 years is when you are vested as a teacher, at least in North Carolina. I think it was 4 years. I got to look that up. But if you get 80% vested and you are getting 20% not vested because you are terminating your policy, then that means you do not get to collect your full amount, right? You only get a piece of that. So you're not going to be able to collect the entire amount. Logically, that makes sense, but the way that the answers were worded, it was confusing. Let's see here. Universal life increases or decreases coverage up to the insured. So kind of like it is up to the insured how much you increase or decrease the coverage. So for me, big picture, big scope is having a very clear understanding of the different types of policies, big picture questions. I get the nitty gritty stuff, but it's like dividing all the things in categories. I wish that they had better graphs and charts. If anybody has good graphs or good charts to like visualize the breaking up of all the different things, I'm kind of like doodling on the side, different charts, like especially at the beginning. I had like little tables that I'm trying to divide in my head and just help me like put things into places. So yeah, I still have 13 hours to go. Even though I have gotten to the end of this content, I will do some reading and then I will take the final exam review again. And then I'll do some more reading and then I will take the final review exam. Make the most of your time. Do not just like bum out on a video and hit the video over and over and over. Yeah, that's not going to do you anything. Like you need to know this content, right? So know it. Don't just waste the time, waste the hours going by. Make the most of the money that you have paid because you are probably not getting reimbursed for it. So use it. If you're a college grad, yes, this is kind of like school, except this is directly related to your profession. So take it seriously. I went to a gathering of my future work colleagues, and I was meeting a whole bunch of the people who were getting licensed. They were in the process, And a bunch of them are college grads because that makes sense. It's the end of the summer. They've graduated. They're looking for their job, and the company is looking to bring people on. And I was just listening to them talk, and they were like, yeah, I failed it 2 or 3 times. I'm like, you are wasting your time, because if you fail it once, then you are delaying another exam for 30 days. You cannot take another one immediately. So you just lost a lot of that time because you just went in and whatever your study process was clearly wasn't enough. And the life and health insurance is supposed to be the quick hitter. You're supposed to be able to get this one pretty solidly. Do not let lack of study habits or poor quality of actually engaging with the material hold you back, because you do not want to have to wait 30 days just to pass another test. Because especially if you're going on to the SIE, the Series 66, the Series 7, you're going to need more time with those to study the content. And if you miss a month, that's a month that you're not working, y'all. That's a month you're not taking in a paycheck. You're just hanging out waiting to take this other quiz. So get it right the first time. Spend your time wisely and get this stuff into your noggin and onto a book and into your digital lives and whatever. Again, in the last video, I think I showed a little bit about my Google Drive, how that's all divided up. So save these notes. Don't just like sit there and read, right? Put it into pen in hand, put it onto your keyboard, and get this stuff going. Okay. Thank you for listening, if you listened all the way through, and let us know if you have any great study tips, tricks, if you've got any resources out there. I'd love to know more. All right, good luck.